Let's take a look at the notable new manga releases coming in December of 2025. Welcome to the last manga buyer's guide of 2025. It is hard to believe, personally at least, that we're already at the end of the year. It seems like this year has just flown by. But there's been so many great releases that have come out throughout 2025 and a ton of other series that have been announced to be coming out in 2026. So as we leave this year behind, we are definitely going into another really strong year of new manga releases. And I'm very excited to talk about all of those with you, just as we've talked about all of these throughout the manga buyer's guides for this year. Now, before I get started on talking about what's coming out throughout December, I do want to cover a couple of points, a couple notes about what the Manga Buyer's Guide videos are and how they work, just in case you're new here or in case you forgot. Number one, the most important thing is I do not cover every single new book that is on the calendar. These videos are more to make sure that you, as a reader and collector like myself, don't miss out on any of the new debut titles because there are so many new series coming from so many different publishers that it's very easy to miss something that could wind up being one of your favorite new things. So that's the main goal of these videos. So we're going to be covering all new debut volumes, new single volume releases. I also try to cover as many final volumes as I can, and we go over some box sets and stuff as well. I want to note that the release dates that I cover in the video are the official date as of the time I'm putting the video out, but some things you will find early and some things will get delayed. That's just the way that it's always worked. So let's go ahead and jump on into it, and we're going to look at stuff that's come out on December the 2nd. But first, I'm going to start with something that's nebulously coming out in December, but we don't know what the official date is, and that is Stop Hibari-kun from Piao2. Piao2 is a small independent publisher, and this is actually their first manga license. They do a lot of alternative and independent comics and stuff, a lot of really cool stuff. I do have a lot of their books, and I highly recommend many of them. But as far as manga goes, this is their first license, and it is a weekly Shonen Jump title from the early 80s, Stop Hibari-kun. They announced this, I believe it was last year at Anime NYC in 2024, and it is finally coming out. According to their website, peow.studio, peow.studio, it is due to be released this month. I also want to note, I don't think that they have distributors. At least if they do, I don't know where their books are sold. I have always either bought directly from them through their website or directly from them through their booths at conventions. So if you're interested in getting Stop Hibari-kun, you can go ahead and find this at peow.studio. It's a $20 book. If you're ordering just that, you'll probably pay shipping, but their shipping's really good as far as I've never had any issues with stuff being damaged. Anyway, their description is: when Kosaku Sakamoto's mother dies, he is sent to Tokyo to live with the Yakuza boss Ibari Ozora and his his 3 cute daughters and one very cute son, Hibari-kun. Yep, the family keeps it a secret, but Hibari, the stylish all-star student and most popular girl at school, is actually a boy. So this is, it was originally released across four volumes, but it is a 3-volume release, the edition that they are doing. So really looking forward to this one. Hopefully it does come out in December so we can grab it. But as far as releases that we know are coming December 2nd, first up, we're going to have from Viz Media under the Shonen Jump line, Kaiju number 8, Relax. This is another spin-off for the Kaiju number 8 franchise, in addition to the main series and the 2-volume Kaiju number 8 B-side. Viz's description is: with the highest Kaiju emergence rates in the world, Japan is no stranger to attack by deadly monsters, but Kaiju don't attack every day. Sometimes even the best and brightest Kaiju fighting heroes get a chance to relax. So this is a slice of life comedy spin-off from the main series. So if you're a fan of Kaiju number 8, and you just want a little bit more stuff with those characters and in that world, this will be a good one for you to pick up. And it is, as of now, still ongoing in Jump Plus. Next up from Titan, we have Stray. I do believe this is a single volume release. After serving 9 years for a crime he didn't commit, Hachiya Ken is free, but his past is far from behind him. Released from prison, he's confronted by Hana, the fiery daughter of a ghost from his past. Together, they're forced to navigate a deadly web of betrayal, yakuza power, and political corruption as they uncover a conspiracy that runs deeper than either could have imagined. Ken must confront his own demons and decide how far he's willing to go for redemption. Next up, we have some stuff from 7 Seas Entertainment, starting with I Won't Let Mistress Suck My Blood. Obviously, this is a vampire title, but it's also a GL, a Yuri title. While on the hunt for a new job and a place to stay, Matilda is pretty sure she hit the jackpot when she winds up in a large mansion known as the Haunted House. Not only does she have work, room, and board, but her new boss is absolutely gorgeous. August, owner of the spooky mansion, is a beautiful, soft-spoken woman who captured Matilda's heart from the moment they met. But on her first night there, Matilda learns there's much more to August than she could have ever imagined. Next up is something completely different from 7 Seas, and that's The Cuckolding Wizard's Adventure, Volume 1, coming from their Ghost Ship line, of course. Young swordsman Alvin has put together a near-perfect adventuring team with his best friend Renka and the adorable priestess Millis. Things are going pretty well until they recruit a wizard named Shinji. Now they're on the road to becoming the best team ever. There's just one catch. Little does Alvin know, but Shinji is quite the Casanova, and he's not just tangled up in his teammates' sheets. He's finding his way into the beds of companions and enemies alike. Will Alvin remain blissfully unaware of Shinji's lecherous ways, or is a steamy truth destined to come out? Next up, from 7 Seas again, we have Far From Romance. This one is a BL single volume, I believe. You really don't remember me, do you? That's the last thing Tono Arata expects to hear from the blue-eyed British newcomer at his tiny seaside IT firm. But from the moment Lewis walks through the door, charming, blunt, and far too comfortable invading Arata's personal space, it's clear that there's more to him than meets the eye. Arata's peaceful routine is upended as he finds himself drawn to the enigmatic expat whose gaze lingers a little too long and whose presence feels oddly familiar. There's a shared past hiding just beneath the surface, one that Lewis remembers and Arata has yet to uncover. Then from Kodansha and DC, this is a pretty cool release. This is the last new release of this first week, and that is the DC manga box set. So this is 10 volumes. It has all 3 volumes of Superman vs. Meshi, all 4 volumes of Batman Justice Buster, and all 3 volumes of One Operation Joker. Those 3 all came out in English like 2023, 2024, and then they announced not long ago that they'd be putting out this 10-volume box set. And the reason this one I think is most notable is because of the price tag. Each of those volumes, if I'm not mistaken, had a cover price of $10. This has a cover price of $50, meaning that right out the bat, you're getting this whole set for half off the original cover price. And of course, there are websites all over the internet that you can find these at discounted prices. I think, for instance, like InStockTrades.com should have it about $35-ish, let's say. So that is an incredible price for 10 volumes of manga brand new. The books themselves are a lot of fun. Superman vs. Meshi is a comedy gourmet manga that has Superman during his lunch breaks from the Daily Planet, flies over to Japan to try a bunch of the cuisine over there. And there's a lot of crossover with other characters, other members of the Justice League and stuff. It's very fun, very wholesome book. I really like that one, probably the best out of all these. Batman Justice Buster, from the creators of the Ultraman manga that Viz has been putting out, is a really cool new manga take on Batman and a lot of his other characters from the Batman books and stuff, especially a very interesting new take on the Joker. And then One Operation Joker is another comedy series where somehow Batman has been turned into an infant and the Joker has taken it upon himself to raise that infant as his own. So, and then comedy ensues from there. It's a great price for a lot of really fun books. So whether you're buying it for yourself or maybe you have a DC or manga or both lover in your life that you're looking to get good Christmas gift for. This is going to be a really good set that I do recommend checking out. Now, some final volumes in the first week. We've got the final volume of Wolf Girl and Black Prince, volume 16, from Seven Seas, the final volume 11 of Last Game, Gunsmith Cats Omnibus 3, and Planets Deluxe Edition, volume 2. From Dark Horse, both of those, and I can recommend 3 out of the 4 of these titles. I've just never read Wolf Girl and Black Prince, so I can't recommend that one, but Last Game is a really fun shoujo title. Gunsmith Cats is just good high-octane action, and this is the final volume of the original series, but there are omnibus for Gunsmith Cats Burst that will come out soon. And then Planets is one of my favorite manga of all time from Makoto Yukimura, the creator of Vinland Saga. This was his work before he did that one. So some really solid final volumes in the first week. So that brings us over to releases for December 9th. Now, first up is another huge release, and this is the deluxe edition for Lone Wolf and Cub. This is massive because for several reasons. This has never been released in English before in the original right to left format. It's always been flipped for English audiences. As well, it's never, since the single issues were published by, was it First Comics and early from Dark Horse, it's never been presented in a larger format. It's always been the tiny digest size volumes that it was originally published in by Dark Horse versus the current brick omnibus that many people are not fans of because they're kind of thick for their trim size and hard to read comfortably. So finally, we're getting Lone Wolf and Cub in a decent format, and more than decent. It's actually a really nice prestige format, and everything I've seen of the hardcovers so far look absolutely beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to this release. And I'm not even a huge fan of Lone Wolf and Cub, but it's such an important series. It's such an important piece of literature in, I would say, the canon of not just the manga medium itself, but in all of storytelling. So this is going to be probably my pick of the month here, and I highly recommend if you are at all curious about it, maybe not jump into a $55 book, a hardcover book, but maybe check it out through, I think they usually have some digital sales going on, like it was part of like a Humble Bundle, or you could even watch one of the movies. I think they're streaming on several different platforms, just kind of see how it is. But yeah, this is definitely for me the most exciting new release, and I'm very much looking forward to this one. Anyway, Dark Horse's description of this is: Ogami Ito, once the Shogun's executioner, has fallen from grace under false accusation by a rival clan. With his wife murdered and with his 3-year-old son to protect, he chooses the path of the Ronin, the masterless samurai. Together, the Lone Wolf and his cub wander feudal Japan, but all roads will lead them to a single destination: vengeance. This will be a total of 12 deluxe edition hardcovers, just like the paperback set. And I'm hoping that this paves the way for them to do more Kazuo Koike books in deluxe editions, because Dark Horse has a lot of those, like Samurai Executioner, Path of the Assassin, stuff like that. So a lot of potential there, and I'm crossing my fingers that it happens. Anyway, yapped on about that for long enough. Let's move to another cool classic series coming, The Magnificent Bastard Legend of Keiji Volume 1 from Kodansha. Yes, you might recognize the artwork here. That is Tetsuo Hara, creator of Fist of the North Star. This was one of the series that he followed up Fist of the North Star with, and it was originally serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. So this is a pretty notable one. These are going to be released in 2-in-1 hardcovers. There will be 9 total covering the entire series at $30 each. I'm not 100% sure about the trim size, but I would assume oversized, but not deluxe sized, right? So similar to like the Parasite or Ashita no Joe hardcovers. Anyway, their description of this one: tall, handsome, and deadly, Keiji revels in his own taste of beauty, whether it be slaying men on the battlefield or carousing with courtesans in the pleasure district. But in an era when might and ruthless politics reign, staying true to oneself while staying alive is no easy feat. As feudal lords vie for supremacy, Keiji's house prepares for a clash with the powerful Hojo clan. When a team of scouts is dispatched to procure wild horses for the house's army, they're attacked by a creature monster unlike any they have ever seen. Tasked with slaying this beast, Keiji sets out to tame it instead. Once the Hojo and their ninja master catch wind of this expedition, however, Keiji will have more than a wild beast to break. Fun fact, this is actually the second time that Keiji has been published in English. The first time was back in the early 2000s when it was part of Gatsun Entertainment's Raijin Comics magazine, alongside a lot of other titles that have also been rescued and published by other people, such as Slam Dunk, Baki the Grappler, and, Fist of the North Star wasn't in the magazine, but City Hunter was, and the prequel series Fist of the Blue Sky was in the magazine. So fingers crossed that one gets picked up soon, because it's kind of the last major series from Raijin that hasn't been picked up again yet. Anyway, moving on, we've got another one from Kodansha, and that is the Girlfriend Omnibus. This is actually coming from the Kodansha Print Club. They just announced it about a month ago. So if you had no idea this was coming, I do not blame you, because it literally just got announced and there was not a ton of fanfare behind the announcement itself. If you're unfamiliar with Kodansha Print Club, these are print-on-demand books, which means they don't go to a full printing like anything else that Kodansha would put out. It's just whatever is being ordered, they will print those books. They've had a few things that went into this line, like I think, Blade Girl and Teppu. Basically, they're digital-only titles that they haven't decided to give a full physical release like the way that they're doing Beck or that they did Initial D. They'll take them to Print Club and release them physically that way. The quality of these books are not nearly as high as the regular Kodansha volumes are, so don't expect these to be the greatest unless they've made some changes, which I wouldn't be too surprised because they have received a bunch of negative feedback, but we'll see. So this one is supposed to be due out on the 9th. You should be able to find it from digital retailers, online retailers like Amazon. I don't know if in-store retailers will sell them. These are going to be 2-in-1 omnibus editions, so 8 volumes total at $25 each. Their description is: Naoya just got a girlfriend, the gorgeous Saki-chan, and though their intensities often pit them against each other like ice and fire, they are totally, uncontrollably in love with each other. He vows never to cheat when out of the blue he receives another confession. Nagisa's cute, sweet, and she's made him lunch to boot. He knows he can't cheat, but he can't let a cutie like this get away. So he does the logical thing, asks Saki for permission to date them both. The confidence, the arrogance, the very gall. No matter the outcome, Naoya's future will be lively. So following this up, we've got a big one coming from Yen Press, and that, of course, is Love Bullet. By Ini. In this contemporary world, Cupids solve problems of love not with bows and arrows, but with guns. However, when the Cupids get in an argument over how to solve a love triangle, a full-on shootout occurs. So this is a GL action type series. It is a GL series that has action in it, that had a pretty big online following and a very big campaign behind it, because the creator Ini had said it was in danger of being canceled, and so fans rallied behind the series to keep it from being canceled, and it hasn't been. It's still ongoing as far as I know at this moment. So when the license was finally announced by Yen Press, it was assumed that it was due to the massive online campaign and all the fans and stuff talking out about it very vocally, especially on like Twitter. But in reality, last year, 2024, at Anime NYC, the creator Ini had actually been pitching the book to several publishers. So Yen Press being one of them, but basically any publisher that was there was getting handed copies of the book to ask them to put it out. And so I don't think it was that much longer after the convention that Yen had put in their offer and picked up the series. Anyway, and this one also has a variant cover from Kinokuniya as well. If you get that variant, it comes with a free Shikishi board. I don't know for sure, but it looks like this cover is half of a 2-cover spread, so I would not be surprised to find out if there's a variant for volume 2 that completes kind of a heart shape. I could be wrong, whatever. If I am, I'm not upset about it, but just wanted to put out that I think that's what's going to happen, but maybe not. Anyway, speaking of variant covers for GL published by Yen Press, that's very specific, but Green Yuri, the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all, has a limited edition hardcover with a slipcase coming, and this is going to be exclusive to the Yen Press web store. So for $30, you can get a hardcover edition of the first volume, and it comes with a slipcase. Looks really nice. I've seen a couple pictures of it online, and it does look like a really nice edition. If you're a big fan of this series, it's probably something that you'll be interested in picking up. Moving onward, also from Yen Press, we have Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Home Alone. Of course, this is the next installment, the next adaptation of the Rascal series. Sakuta's shut-in sister, Kaede, has been content always being at home after the bullying incident that put her there. Plus, that's where her favorite Oni-chan is. Yet slowly but surely, Kaede begins to venture beyond the four walls that protected her these last few years, regaining more and more of the life and freedom the old her knew. But even with Sakuta, Mai, and everyone else in her corner, treating this case of adolescence syndrome isn't going to be easy. We follow this one up with one from J Novel Club, which is part of Yen Press. Ascendance of a Bookworm Manga Part 4, Volume 1. Rosamine awakens from her 2-year slumber to find that everything and everyone has changed, which is just as terrifying as it sounds. She's immediately thrust toward the Royal Academy, a requirement for becoming a noble. There she'll meet so many teachers and students from other duchies? I don't know that word. But will she be able to keep her composure when she's facing the largest collection of books she's seen yet? Our bookworm heads to school in this biblio-fantasy by book lovers for book lovers. Following this up with one from Seven Seas, Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, Omnibus Edition, Volume 1 and 2. This should be wrapped in 7 omnibus editions total. As soon as 16-year-old Shiki Tsubasa from Tokyo steps out of his cab and into the bone-chilling temperatures of Kitami, Hokkaido, he's hit with a wave of culture shock, or maybe it's just hypothermia. But his frosty welcome takes a warmer turn when he meets Fuyuki Minami, a carefree gal who struts through the snow in bare legs without a second thought. Lucky for Shiki, she's his guide to all the quirky wonders of Hokkaido, like sugar on corn dogs, snow huts, and the best slopes for skiing, and maybe even more adorable Hokkaido babes. This city boy may think he's seen it all, but he's about to realize how much he has yet to discover. I read about half of this actually on Shonen Jump Plus back in the day, and I never continued it, but it was pretty fun as far as shonen like rom-com, kind of ecchi rom-com go. This one was a pretty fun read, so if you're into shonen rom-com, I'll recommend it. I do recommend it. Another one from Seven Seas this month, in this week, is going to be Chainsmoker Cat Volume 1. Welcome to Yanni's apartment. Please don't mind the smell. Yanni is a cat girl with a seriously bad smoking habit. Every time she tries to quit, she becomes weak to the cravings and gives in almost instantly. Behind on her rent and unable to hold down a job, her friends and sister rally around to help her out. But when she's using her pee to put out cigarette fires, they may just have their work cut out for them. Will she ever get her life together, or is she doomed to live as a chain-smoking slob forever? I'm definitely interested in checking this one out. It sounds hilarious. So definitely count on me having some opinions on this in the future. Next up, also from Seven Seas, is a BL title, Boss Bitch Baby. I'm assuming BXTCH should be pronounced bitch. Hojin-ku is being chased by loan sharks for his runaway brother's debt when a group of strangers comes to his rescue, one of whom turns out to be a former one-night stand of his. He pitches that he'll take care of the debt if Hojin becomes his personal plaything for a year. Reluctantly, Hojin agrees. While at first Hojin is just a pet, he begins to notice the loneliness beneath the surface, and their relationship begins to change. Moving on to something from Titan Manga, we have Ghostly Darkness of Kanata, Volume 1. After a heart-stopping encounter with an unearthly apparition, a young woman becomes fixated on the spirits that linger in the shadows. Drawn into a chilling journey to confront the very essence of fear, she steps into a world where the boundary between living and dead fades into oblivion. As the heroine delves deeper into the occult, her quest to understand the afterlife soon reveals that terror doesn't always come from the unknown. It hides in the places we think we know best. The ghosts she seeks might just be the ones chasing her. And moving on to Inklore, they have the Heaven Official's Blessing comic adaptation. This is based on the Danmei novels that are published by Seven Seas. Xielian Once the darling of the heavens, is a twice banished god infamous for his fall from grace. 800 years have passed since his mortal life as the crown prince of Xianlei, and he's now the laughingstock of the three realms. So when he ascends to godhood for a third time, it causes an uproar among his divine peers. Ascension may be nothing new to Xielian, but this time he has no followers, little power, and less luck. To repay his heavenly debts, Xielian must descend to the mortal realm to hunt ghosts that prey upon the living. There he encounters a mysterious stranger, but is this newcomer friend or foe, or something else entirely? Then we have from Sublime, Trickster's Tale, Hu Yan Zhuan. Volume 1, this is a BL fantasy series. A half-fox demon, a half-human who has lost his family, is taken under the wing of a sage and raised as his pupil. As the young half-demon matures, his feelings for his master mature as well, and what was once admiration turns into forbidden love. Next up from Tokyo Pop, as part of their Love Love line, we've got About a Love Song. Band member Hoshina loves music but struggles to write love songs while working part-time at a convenience store. He's drawn to his younger co-worker Seto, but doesn't expect anything to come of it, until the two get caught in the rain and end up spending the night together. In the morning, Hoshina discovers Seto is a high school senior and insists that they stop seeing each other until after Seto graduates. Seto wants to explore their relationship further and continues to pursue Hoshina, but Hoshina awkwardly and earnestly attempts to keep him at a safe distance. While apart, Hoshina is inspired to write a song about his feelings for Seto, and following Seto's graduation, he sees Hoshina perform the song, and the two reconcile their feelings for each other. Then another Tokyo Pop one is Fox and Puppy. Laid-back novelist Akihiko and his earnest new editor Aichiro, aka Aichan, are faced with an unexpected dynamic shift when Aichan walks in on Akihiko in bed with a man and bursts into tears. Aichan confesses his feelings for Akihiko, but since Akihiko has no interest in anything serious, the best he can offer Aichan is a steamy, semi-professional friendship with decidedly unprofessional benefits. In spite of Akihiko's efforts to keep things casual, Aichan slowly begins to unearth the details of Akihiko's mud-caked romantic past, doggedly pawing his way to the wounded heart of the elusive fox he fell in love with. And then we wrap up the new debuts for this week with My Noons and Midnights Are For You, also from Tokyo Pop. Compared to his radiant online alter ego, Mahiru, a bubbly VTuber beloved by thousands of fans, the real Mayo is a gloomy, shy, and plagued by self-doubt. And the more love Mahiru receives, the more Mayo feels the sting of isolation. Even Mr. Ogino, Mayo's affectionate, doting manager, seems to care more for the persona, not the real Mayo behind the mask. So even when Mr. Ogino tells him, "I love you," how could Mayo ever believe his words? Yet Mr. Ogino might see more than Mayo realizes. Sensing Mayo's secret longing and unable to resist, Mr. Ogino utters the words that will change their relationship forever. In that case, shall I bully you instead? And then we have a couple of final volumes for the second week. Pokemon Sword and Shield Volume 14. This is the smaller, 100-page volume as opposed to the full Pokemon Adventures volumes that are about 200-ish pages. So these are only like $6. But they're finally wrapping up Sword and Shield. And then Kodansha has the final volume of the Fable Omnibus coming out. No word as of yet from Kodansha whether they're going to follow that up with the sequel to the Fable. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But in the meantime, we also have one more final volume release, technically a final volume, and that is the Sailor Moon Naoko Takeuchi Collection Manga Box Set 2. So this is the final box set containing volumes 7 through 10, as well as volumes 1 and 2 of Codename Sailor V. It also has 16 exclusive art cards with high-quality prints of Naoko Takeuchi's illustrations, a holographic box with a magnetic enclosure and glittery finish. So this is going to be a great gift for the end of the year for the Sailor Moon fan in your life. And if you are someone who doesn't like the larger trim size like I do for the that they have for the Eternal editions, this is going to be a really nice way to get these books at a good price. So that's it for the second week, and we can move on to the releases for December 16th, starting out with a new big one from a new release of a old series from Kodansha, and that of course is Dragon Head. This was originally released back in the 2000s by Tokyo Pop, and they did release the entire 10-volume series. However, it's been very out of print for a long time, and the license was picked up by Kodansha Comics US, but they only had it online for a long time until recently they announced that they were going to put it out in a 4-volume omnibus collection, each volume being 2.5 volumes in one. Teru and his high school class are returning from a field trip when a catastrophic something derails their train, burying them in a tunnel and killing nearly everyone aboard. Among the hellish heap of mangled bodies, Teru discovers 2 survivors, but their nightmare has only just begun. Trapped in unending shadow with sudden violent earthquakes shaking their sanity, the 3 must find a way to escape to the outside world and make it back home, if home still exists. So I'm very excited about that one. I'm pretty much always excited about an older series that's getting brought back into print, especially if it's something like this that I wasn't able to get myself. Another older series getting brought back into print is Parasite, the paperback collection. So if you're curious as to why this exists, because Parasite is currently in print, it is in print in the full color hardcover editions, but the previous paperback editions are no longer in print. Whether or not they're hard to find, I didn't double check on like eBay and Amazon, but they're not able to be ordered from like distributors and stuff. So your first party sellers like Amazon or Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, et cetera, they're not going to be able to sell this book directly, basically to consumers. So this is being put out basically for that reason mainly, but also now the paperback black and white edition is being updated with the new translation and lettering from the hardcover editions. But if you're not a fan of hardcovers and you're not a fan of colored manga that wasn't originally colored, which many people aren't, this is here for you, so you can still benefit from the updated translation and lettering. Also features brand new covers, brand new design. So very nice release if you are someone who does not yet have Parasite but has been wanting to pick it up. As far as the description of the series, I'll just read what they have. Teenager Shinichi wakes up one night to discover a creature crawling under the skin of his right arm. This is a parasite, a creature that takes control of a person's body and turns it into a shape-shifting monstrosity hungry for human flesh. Shinichi has managed to stop his parasite and with a tourniquet, and as a result, it takes over only his arm, leaving 2 consciousnesses sharing one body and dependent on each other to survive. As parasites take control of more and more people, rumors spread of brutal murders committed by terrible abominations. Heads splitting open to reveal mouths of sharp teeth, bat-like wings erupting from backs, blades tearing through soft bellies. Only Shinichi knows for sure that these rumors are all true. But can he find a way to live without destroying everyone he cares about, much less save the rest of humanity? Fantastic series, highly recommended. If you've never read this before, or maybe you've watched the anime but haven't read the original manga, I definitely recommend picking this one up, especially for sci-fi horror fans. Moving on to something else from Kodansha, this time completely different. Flip Slowly is a BL series, or BL one-shot. In this new BL one-shot manga, an older city man looking for to find solace in a small country library, and a curious young librarian who can't help falling for him. A simple, moving story about 2 men finding common ground despite their overt differences, and the way love can sneak up on you when you least expect it. Then we move over to Viz, that has one from their Viz signature line, Made to Skate. In this world, maids go about their everyday lives dressed in long black dresses, frilly aprons, and skate shoes. Whether they're running errands or hitting the halfpipe, these maids shred the town. Like witches have their brooms, these ladies have their boards. If one thing's certain, these maids are totally made to skate. This is only a single volume release. I believe everything I've found has shown me that it's just a single volume release. I was really curious why this got licensed by Viz. I'm just going to put out there, just so in case I'm right, I have evidence that I said this. I'm willing to bet that there's some sort of adaptation coming, whether it's a live action thing or an animated thing, whether it's a film or an OVA or whatever. This was probably licensed because of that. Most of the time, if you're wondering why was something licensed, it's because there's some sort of adaptation that's coming that we don't know about yet. Moving on to 7 Seas. This one was pretty hot with the recent anime release, A Ninja and an Assassin Under One Roof. Satoko, a runaway ninja with 0 street smarts, just wanted a quiet escape from her secretive village. Instead, she ends up crashing at the apartment of Konoha, a high school girl who moonlights as a lethal assassin. What starts as an awkward roommate situation quickly spirals into a chaotic blend of dodging deadly pursuers, navigating high school drama, and figuring out who's supposed to do the dishes. With razor-sharp comedy and nonstop hijinks, this odd couple is anything but ordinary. And then moving on to another 7 Seas title, we've got a couple BL things next. Lovers on the Last Train. Hadue, a 42-year-old gay man, hasn't had a single date in his life. Deciding to try out his company's dating app, he's surprised when he matches with the suspiciously hot Fujishima. Hadue has his doubts, of course. Fujishima is sexy, smart, and kind, too good to be true. However, once they start talking, Hadue gets butterflies for the first time. The conversation and alcohol flow freely, and before they know it, they've missed the last train, left with no choice but spend the night together. Then the next one from 7 Seas is My Bias is Showing. A high school teacher with an obsession over a member of a popular idol group would give anything to meet him, and his chance comes when the group begins filming at his school. The teacher catches the idol's attention and is cast as his co-star, which means he'll have to hide his inner rabid fan, but the two grow closer regardless. Next up over at Yen Press, we've got Animan Volume 1. Are we the predators or the prey? When an unsuspecting father and daughter stumble upon a strange gathering of humanoid animals with a taste for fine cuisine, their worst nightmare is about to begin. Here, creatures who are not quite human and not quite animal at that, raise humans as livestock and slaughter them to put meat on the table. Through this bizarre and horrific tale, society's morals are put to the ultimate test. What does it truly mean to consume another living being? Then next up from Yen Press, we've got Demon Lord 2099, the complete omnibus. Probably not related to Marvel 2099 with Spider-Man and Doom 2099 and all that. Jokes aside, in the year 2099 of the Fused Era, 5 centuries after his fall, the legendary Demon Lord Beltul returns to finish what he started. But the world he once conquered is gone, replaced by Shinjuku, a dazzling cyberpunk city where magic and technology intertwine, and the stories of demon lords and heroes are little more than historical footnotes. But make no mistake, this brave new world will be his for the taking. This is an all-in-one omnibus edition, so as the title suggests, complete omnibus. So if this sounds interesting, it is just one book that you'll have to pick up. It is an expensive one at $34, but you won't have to worry about volume 2, 3, etc. Honestly, I like when they take like a series that was 2 or 3 volumes and just release it all at once in an omnibus like that. I don't know. I like that. I prefer that to like having multiple volumes for a small series like that. Next up from Yen Press is Even a Replica Can Fall in Love. When she doesn't feel well, when she doesn't want to go to school, I take her place. I'm her replica, and I solely exist for her. But it all changed when he came into my life. Now I wear my hair up so the boy I fell for knows it's me. I may be her replica, but my heart is mine. Then one more from Yen Press, Out of the Cocoon. Yuriko Hara, author of the atmospheric eerily beautiful Yuri Cocoon Entwined, brings us 5 haunting stories of love and attachment, ranging from horrific to wistful. These captivating tales, featuring both Yuri and boys' love, are sure to ensnare readers. Fans of her previous work will be especially delighted by the final piece, which provides an extra chapter of Yoko and Hana's story. Then next up, we have a couple of new releases from Manga Mavericks books. This is, I think, their second round of new releases. They just started up. Their first few books were released, I think, early this summer, I think is when they were. So this is the second round. We got 2 more one-shots. First up is Great Metal God. An unknown steel visitor descends from the heavens, leaving destruction in its wake. Mankind's struggles are in vain before the metal marauder. However, salvation comes from an unlikely source, an ancient ritual and a young girl's resolve. Told almost completely without text, instead utilizing page after page of incredible artwork, readers will fall to their knees before the Great Metal God's advent. And then the other one from Manga Mavericks is First Time in Taiwan, a delicious adventure. Told through the visage of cute animal avatars, this delicious manga travelogue follows the journey of a mangaka and friends as they explore Taiwan via both illustrations and photography. Readers can pull up a chair and enjoy the deliciousness in this release without the need to worry about calories. And we wrap up the third week with some final volumes. Heart Gear Volume 7 from Viz, Long Period Volume 2 coming from I believe that's 7 Seas. Goblin Slayer: A Day in the Life Volume 3 from Yen, Guillotine Bride Volume 2, and Monster Tribe Volume 2, also both from Yen Press. So a good selection of short series in this last in this week. And I had no idea Monster Tribe was only 2 volumes. I feel a little bit betrayed because I read the first volume expecting it was going to be a lot longer. Anyway, moving onward, before we get into the new releases for December 3rd, I do want to shout out to the sponsor of this video and of this channel, waltscomicshop.com. Now, while myself and I know most of the viewers of my videos are here in the US, we have plenty of different options where you can shop for your English language manga, like, in-stock trades, Amazon, Crunchyroll, Barnes & Noble. I've been getting most of my stuff from Alibris lately. But if you're outside the US, your choices might be a little bit more sparse, and Walt's Comic Shop is a great one if you happen to be in the EU. Walt's Comic Shop, located in Germany, has a fantastic selection of manga and also comics, so if you want to check out something from Marvel or DC, like the Ultimates or Absolute Batman, something like that, they will have options for that as well. They have great prices, great selection, great customer service, great packaging, and if you've never shopped with Walt's before, you can use the code the Omnibus Collector at checkout for free shipping on your first order of 40 euro or more. Again, on your first order of 40 euro or more, you can get free shipping by using the code the Omnibus Collector. Thank you again to Walt for always supporting the channel, and let's get into those new releases from the 23rd, so the week of Christmas. There we go. So the week of Christmas, and we start off with a rather cool one, in my opinion. Dark Horse has H.P. Lovecraft's The Shadow Out of Time by Go Tanabe. This is the latest in their line of Go Tanabe's Lovecraft adaptations. This one is nearly 400 pages, so it's another all-in-one adapting The Shadow Out of Time. Just because one lives in Arkham, just because one teaches there at Miskatonic University, it doesn't mean one has any interest in the occult, in the abnormal. That was always the view of Nathaniel Wingate Peaslee, a respectable professor of political economy, until that one Thursday in 1908, when Professor Peaslee suddenly began to see in front of him not his students in their lecture hall, but strange shapes inhabiting a grotesque chamber. He collapsed unconscious, and when he awoke, he was strange. Very strange. I love all of these Lovecraft adaptations that they've been putting out. I just, fingers crossed, not only that they don't stop putting it, which I doubt they're going to stop. It seems like they're doing pretty well, but fingers crossed that they put more of them in deluxe hardcovers, because the Mountains of Madness one is absolutely stunning, and I would love to have more of these stories in those larger trim size, moving on, and this is a pretty short week. Next up from Kodansha, we have You're All Mine Tonight. This is a single volume BL 18-plus book. Hanzaki is your typical businessman. He's stoic, dependable, and respected by all of his subordinates. But he has a secret he can't tell anyone. 5 years ago, he became involved with a male sex worker named Nagi. The more nights they spent together, the more lust gave way to love, and Kanzaki hasn't been able to get Nagi off his mind since. After being sent to work abroad, Kanzaki returns to Japan and meets one of his new subordinates, a young man named Futagami, who looks exactly like Nagi. As the part of Kanzaki's past that was once frozen in time begins to thaw, can the two men find their way back toward each other, or will the passionate nights they spend together remain a thing of the past? Then next up from Seven Seas, we have God of Seduction in the Bedroom, another BL. Satoru's love life has hit rock bottom. As the world's worst lover, he's been dumped time and again due to his terrible skills in bed. Just when he thinks all hope is lost, the God of Seduction, affectionately nicknamed Ekchan, suddenly appears to turn his fortunes around. Ekchan reveals that the only way to make things right is to find Satoru's perfect partner, a match so ideal that sparks are guaranteed to fly. Enter Shinya Hoshina, a wildly popular actor and Satoru's supposed soulmate. Satoru manages to get close to Shinya, leading to a night that redefines everything he thought he knew about pleasure. But as Shinya's kindness and sincerity begins to melt Satoru's heart, what started as divine intervention turns into something much deeper. And we wrap up this week with one more from Tokyo Pop, and that is Touched by Twilight, Volume 1. Shen Feng, the youngest of the Shen family, once vowed to surpass his childhood mentor and first love, the powerful and graceful Xiaoxing. But when a deadly feud erupts between their families, their bond is torn apart by betrayal and bloodshed. Ordered to destroy the Xiao family, Shen Feng defies fate and spares Shaoxing, knowing it means losing him forever. 50 years later, after his father's assassination, Shen Feng returns home only to come face to face with the man he thought he'd lost for good. A past and present collide. Can love survive the shadows of loss and regret? And then we've got some final volumes in this week as well. My Name is Shingo, Perfect Edition, Volume 6. From Viz, Adored by an Elite Officer, Could This Be Love, Volume 3, My Younger Knight Takes Care of Me in Another World, Volume 2, and Sheeply Horned Witch, Romy, Volume 3. Now we're heading into the final week of this month, December 30th, and we start off with one from Yen Press, Divine Incursions, Volume 1. Titanic body parts fall from the sky onto a town. The guts and viscera of corpses are mysteriously absent, and humanity continues to dream of eternal life and eternal youth. Katakishi of the Divine Incursion Special Investigations Department is on the case to uncover the truth of these phenomena and other secrets that hit closer to home. This one also has a light novel coming out. I know it's this month. It might be the same week as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Then also coming from Yen Press as part of the Eyes Press line is I Love Amy. BB loves Peter, and Peter would love BB if not for that pesky girl Peter was talking to in the school hallway. BB needs her out of the way, so she invites her new rival over for a sleepover, but instead of making sure the girl from the halls won't get in her way any further, BB enjoys a pleasant night with her new friend Amy. As they fall asleep, BB wrestles with an unfamiliar and confusing feeling. Something must be wrong, because BB loves Peter, right? And one last new release from this month, also from Ice Press, is Solo Leveling, Volume 14, which is Side Stories Volume 1. This is not a first volume, but I wanted to treat it like one, just so I could say, like, this is the first of the two Side Stories volume that kind of bridge the gap between Solo Leveling and the sequel Ragnarok. Jin Woo Sung, S-Class Hunter and Shadow Monarch, has saved the world from the destructive otherworldly creatures, but that's a story that no longer exists, right? Thanks to Jin Woo turning back time and securing his victory against the Dragon Monarch, Earth is now a normal place without any gates or magic beasts or hunters. Unfortunately, the danger lurking around every corner, Jin Woo will have to do everything in his power to keep it that way. So 14 and 15 will both be side stories, and then after that, we'll start off the sequel series. And we have some final volumes for the last week of this month. From Seven Seas, 12 Dirty Deeds to Unite the Princess and Her Heroine, Volume 3. And then the other three are all, I believe all three of these are from Yen Press. Go Ghost 5, Pandora 7, Volume 6, and The Executioner and Her Way of Life 7. Kind of annoying that Pandora 7 didn't end with Volume 7, but hey, whatever. And we have one more thing I wanted to touch on in this video, and that was from Kodama Tales, Smile, Volume 1. So this has a release date of January 1st, but I wanted to mention at the end of this video because January 1st is not a Tuesday, so it's not going to go within the first week of new releases. So by the time I get the video out for January 2026, this will have already come out, and I just wanted to make sure that I mention it before it's actually available. So Smile is the second series coming from Kodama Tales, who started off with Baki the Grappler, which as of now, they've had volumes 1 through 6, and then 7 and 8 were available early from some retailers. So I got my copies early, but 7 and 8 are due out the same day as this one, January 1st. So this is a horror series. A journalist risks everything to uncover the truth behind a sinister cult. Yushi Kamome is a freelance journalist who lost his beloved daughter in an unforeseen accident. His descent into despair following her death drove his wife to leave him, and he lives each day a shell of the man he once was. But his fate changes one day when members of a religious organization he had never heard of, the Smiling Heart Society, knock on his door and hand him a flyer. He's ready to dismiss them until he notices the face of his estranged wife on the flyer, smiling ever so softly. And so begins a tale of religion and insanity. What kind of sinister darkness lurks behind this religion and its strange smiles? So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out, and I know given that it's from Kodama Tales, it's going to be super high quality releases. And these are going to be just single volume releases, unlike the nearly 2-in-1 releases for Baki. So it'll be fun to see something that's not almost 400 pages long coming from Kodama. But if you're interested in this and you haven't been picking up Baki, rest assured this is going to be a really, really nice presentation. Physically, the volume itself will be. And that's it. That's it for the new releases for this month and the one for January. Really exciting way to end the year 2025. And like I said early in the video, there's a lot of really exciting stuff that's already been announced that's going to be coming out in 2026. A lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to quite a bit. So hopefully y'all have a fantastic end of your year. And if I don't have a video out after this one, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that jazz. But I should have at least one more this month because Dark Horse has another deluxe edition hardcover that they're announcing tomorrow morning, Thursday. So I'll probably have another video to talk about that one up sometime in the next few days. Fingers crossed. My time is looking good right now, so I have the time and the ability to make a couple videos. But anyway, so I will talk about that. It's going to be about Appleseed. The teaser was very, very blatant. So I'm very excited about that. If you're a fan of Ghost in the Shell and stuff, or if you already are a fan of Appleseed, then it's definitely an exciting one for you. Anyway, that all said, I will see you all on the next one. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning into this. Again, if I don't talk to y'all before the next Buyer's Guide video, Happy New Year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic holiday season with loved ones, friends, family, whoever it is that you spend time with, or if you want to spend that time alone, I hope that you have the best time that you can on your own. But I do thank you, as always, for spending time with me. If you're new here, I hope that this was a fun and informative video that will help you to find something that could be your next new favorite manga. And I hope that you'll consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for all new videos that I have coming out in the future. And if you're not new here, you already know how much I appreciate you. Thank you again for spending time with me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.